playing hilariously. Was it so?
Hey. I don't know why I'm sitting down. I need to stand up for this class, for the beginning of this class. So, and you can stand up now or later. It's up to you. No, you can come with me if you want. So a lot of you know I have a 14-year-old, but you may not realize that when he was born as an infant and as a toddler, he would shake his arms a lot, his hands a lot. And this is literally what he would do. And, you know, adults would laugh at him and, you know, ask what he was doing, and children would mock him. And I knew that wasn't normal, but as a mother, I was like, oh, he's going to be a drummer. His dad was a bass player, and I'm a music lover. So I was just like, we need to put something in his hands. So at a very young age, like when he was just a baby, I got in one of those rattles that's like a little, it's almost like a, oh, I just lost the name of it. What's that percussion instrument that you turn and tip it and it rattles?
Maraca? No, maraca.
No, it's long.
Yeah, it's like a rain stick.
It's a rain stick.
Okay.
Yeah, so the rattle was like a rain stick. And anyway, we gave him these percussion instruments, and sure enough, he would beat on them, and he loved it. So at the age of 3, we started letting him take lessons, and he's a drummer to this day. And for the last several years, he's commented when we've been in the car and we're listening to music and I'm doing the drum beat on the steering wheel. And he'll be like, Mom, that works. That works with the beat. Or he'll say, hey, that's the 8th note beat. You should try drumming. I bet you were a drummer in a past lifetime. And I was like, well, maybe you should teach me something. So this past week, he was like, Mom, I want to teach you something on the drum. So we went downstairs, and I was like, I want to play the 8th note beat. And so that's not easy. I don't know if you've ever been behind a drum set. I've never been behind a drum set. But literally all 4 limbs are doing something different. You know, this one's hitting the kick drum. This one's holding down the hi-hat. This hand's hitting the hi-hat or the tom, and this hand's hitting the snare or tom. And so it's, if you think this is difficult, and if you think walking with that is difficult, try 4 different limbs doing 4 different things. And so I picked up on it pretty quickly, and he was like, whoa, I can't believe you picked up on it so fast. I'm like, well, you're a good teacher. Anyway, my shins were sore the next day. Just what were you doing with the foot pedal? And so the practice is inspired by that experience I had behind the drum set and thinking about Shiva. And I've talked about Shiva in the past. Shiva, if you look at, in like Christianity, they talk about the Trinity, God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Hinduism, they also have a Trinity, but their Trinity is Brahma, which is the creator or God, Vishnu, which is the preserver or the Holy Spirit, and Shiva, which is similar to Christ, the Lord of destruction, afterlife, rebirthing, liberation, freedom, salvation, right? It's very similar. So I meant to bring, I have a statue of Shiva playing a drum. Shiva is often depicted playing a drum. And so what I want you to consider is even in biblical stories, you know, they had hand drums. Drums were, I believe, the first instrument ever made. And you can find it in even tribal communities, right? The drumming is a big instrument, and they use it for spiritual rituals, and they do it for other type of rituals. And it's meant to be a connection between the heavens and the earth. The drum represents the rhythm of our own heartbeat. It represents the rhythm of time, the rhythm of the seasons. And so there's a lot of representation there. With Shiva beating on the drum and holding a trident, or usually there's a trident that is representative of him. The trident is not actually his weapon. His weapon is the bow. The bow is made of sugarcane. The trident represents getting rid of the Maya or the illusion of the physical world getting rid of the ego that exists in the mind and introducing you or blessing you with the spiritual world. So I wanted you to know what those things mean, because this practice is inspired by that. And I want you to get up on your feet now. And I want you to start shaking one of your hands. I know we're starting off this practice different today, but some of you have started off this way with me in the past. I usually do this once or twice a year. And then bring it up the arm. And so shaking may not mean a lot to you, but shaking is actually good for the joints. It's also good for reducing stress and chronic tension in the body. And we were just talking about, we're animals too. You were talking about the gentle farm that you went to visit and how animals have emotions and feelings and connections as well. Well, we're actually part of the animal kingdom. And if you think about dogs, for instance, when they get stressed or overly stimulated, they stop and they shake it out. So now move to the other hand, and also notice the hand that you were previously shaking, the energy, the tingling sensation, or whatever kind of sensation you're experiencing. That's the energy that we're kind of opening up here. Shake out the arm, bring it up into the shoulder even, and then start to do it in both. You can take the arms up to the side. You can be expressive with this. And then shimmy the shoulders. Shimmy the hips. And so a little tidbit on how to get the hips to shimmy is to move your knees. If you've ever taken a belly dancing class, you know, belly dancing looks so sensual and exotic and erotic. And you can't see their knees because they're wearing blousy pants or big skirts, because this is not attractive, right? When you see the knees moving this way, but the hips moving is the point of attraction. All right, now stand on one leg, shake a foot, bring it up into the hip, and then to the other side. All right, now nod your head a couple times. You don't have to shake it out so fierce. And you're going to start to shift your weight from one side to the other. You can even add in a little twist, your upper body. So there's no mirrors in this space, which is nice. You don't have to worry about seeing your reflection. But you may or may not have heard of yoga trance dance. Yoga trance dance is about freedom in your body, freedom of expression. There's no right or wrong. And I wish the term dance wasn't even in the title, because some people hear that word and automatically get blocked. I did this yesterday in a class. My boyfriend came. He's a musician. And he can dance. I've seen him. But he'll say, I'm a musician. I play the music. I don't dance. And when we started doing this and started walking around the room, he had no idea what to do with his body. And I teased him later and I said, I've been to the Rolling Stones with you. You moved, you danced. He said, no, Mick Jagger danced. I just moved. All right. So when this music starts going, and let's just go ahead and get it going ourselves. You're just going to be lifting one foot up and you're flaring open through your hip and your knee. All right, so it's going to get a little aerobic in the beginning of the practice, not because we're here for aerobics, because we're talking about the drum, we're talking about the beating of the heart, and I want to get the heart rate up. I'm ready for the song to speed up. Get it more fun. Okay, heard a little drum. Now, I want you to imagine that you're in an area that has drums all around you. And I want you to use your hands and your feet. And you don't even have to listen to the drums in the background. You can march to the beat of your own internal drummer, right? And imagine there's hanging drums, just like the hanging gardens of Babylon, everywhere around. And we're listening right now to one of the mantras dedicated to Shiva. And as you're moving this way, considering our topic and theme, think about anything that you want to stop out of your life, right? Any negative energy, any toxic people. Anything from your past that just keeps regurgitating over and over, and you're just so done with it. Think about times where the ego gets in the way, where you're trying to prove yourself, and it could be towards your own expectations, or the expectations others have placed on you, or whatever your idea of success is, or abundance is, right? The ego can get in the way. You can even consider making some requests. Nothing wrong with making requests. Send it out there. And imagine your drum playing being the messenger from the earth back to the heavens. All right, I'm gonna try to speed this up. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Okay, now I want you to move. And think about in tribal circles, right? I just want you to move. So you don't have to continue to play the drum. You can just move and swing your arms. Move in circles, side step, twirl, right? Whatever feels good and free. So Shiva is considered, don't get caught up in the term, the Lord of Yoga. And when you study Shiva, he has this cosmic dance. And the cosmic dance is usually in a ring of fire, fire representing transformation. And that Tandavan is the dance that gets the creative energy moving, the creative energy manifesting. But it's also that creative dance to get rid of, to let go of what doesn't serve us. Cool. All right. Back to your mat. Little Monday dance party. All right, we're gonna slowly come to sit. And move down. I want you to take your left hand over your heart, your right hand on top of that. So musicians have what's called a click track that measures mathematically a beat so that the playing stays in time. I want you to notice your internal click track, how fast your heart may be beating from this movement. There's a lot of life force here in the body. Even though we're feeling and connecting to the physical heart, the spiritual heart has the highest electromagnetic field. It's always emitting this beautiful energy. Now consciously control your breath, breathing in and out slowly and deeply through the nose. When you take the reins of your breath, gain control of it, bringing a higher quality to it, It will not only slow the wheels of the mind down, but it can help to slow the heart. Testing this and acknowledging this and understanding this, you can bring this into play whenever you're feeling anxious or nervous, impatient, right? When the heart gets erratic or goes awry. Now let's go ahead and relax the hands down to the lap. And we're going to come up to stand. We're going to start with the Pranayama Technique. I think you can perspire a little bit too. Bring your hands laced together. You're going to bring the knuckles underneath your chin. Look down at your feet. Line them up hip distance, toes on one imaginary line. As we inhale, just do the mechanic with me first. You're lifting your chin, spreading your hands, as well as your elbows. As you exhale, the arms come back together. And then you lower the chin just slightly towards your chest. Okay, now we're going to breathe in. Breathe out and down. Close your eyes. Inhaling. Open your throat. Exhaling. Slightly tuck the chin towards the chest. Continue 3 more. Let this be a centering breath. 2 more. Good, last one. Good, now keep your hands here, but drop them away from the chin. Bring your pointer fingers together and lift the arms straight up. Shrug the shoulders up towards your ears, hug the arms into your head, and then exhale, curve to your right. Think about lifting and leaning at the same time, rooting through the feet and reaching out to the pointer fingers at the same time. The crescent moon is usually depicted on Shiva's brow to represent consciousness. Inhale, come up to the top. Exhale, curve to your left. Ooh, I got a nice pop on that side. Inhale up to the top. Exhale, arch back. Maybe even tuck the tailbone and see if you can move into the lower end of the back. If that hurts, don't do it. Inhale, rise to the top. Exhale, separate your hands. Swan dive down, Uttanasana. When you come to Uttanasana, pick up your sits bones. Press down through your feet. Try to line up your legs. Try to create strong structure, nice muscular activity. Belly hugging in as the arms and head hang free. Inhale, let's step your left foot back. And when you step the left foot back, drop the back knee, shin, and foot to the floor. Take your right hand to your waist. Send your left arm out, rest on the pinky finger. And then inhale, press through the right foot, drive up through your hips, re-erect the vertebrae, and then as you exhale, you're sinking the hips and bringing the arm out front. You got it. Inhale, drive it up. Half lunge. Exhale, release. Controlled breath, controlled movements. You're building strength as you lift, if you're doing it correctly, and you're building some flexibility as you release. Last one. Bring both hands down to frame that front foot, curl the back toes, launch into downward facing dog. When you arrive to downward facing dog, press into your hands. Create space between each vertebra. Take one more breath. Exhale, sink down to your knees. When you sink to your knees, you're going to tip forward with your whole upper body. As you exhale, work your triceps, elbows squeeze to the side ribs. Your chin comes down before your, or ahead of your fingertips, I should say. And inhale, rise back up. All right, if you have difficulty coming back up, don't go so low. Maybe drop halfway or a quarter of the way. Exhale, shift forward and lower. Inhale, press back to table. Good, exhale, rock forward and down. The hips stay up for this one. Inhale, straighten your arms and back up a little. That's it. Couple more. Building some upper body strength with this repetition. Good, exhale, Ashtanga. This time, untuck the toes. Drop onto the tops of your thighs, down to your belly to Cobra, a baby Cobra. Lift and lengthen your legs. Glue the tops of the toes to your mat. Keep your legs active, your glutes fired up, and sink down to the brow. We're gonna do dancing Cobra as part of the cosmic dance today. The first thing you're gonna do is lift your right shoulder, roll it up towards the ear, and then down and back. And then you'll do that to the left side, roll back to the right, then roll to your left. And then press down through your palms, continue to roll the shoulders, and slowly lift to a higher Cobra. You can dip down, you can rise up, just like you were the snake, and there was a snake charmer trying to get you to dance. All right, come down to your breath. Inhale, shift back up, all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here in your downward facing dog. Line up your body. Grip your hands into your mat. Root down through the feet. One last breath. And on your next inhale, take your left foot all the way to the top of the mat, in between your hands. Give yourself a helping hand if you need to. Sink the back knee, untuck the back toes. Left hand to the waist, right arm reaches ahead. And then use your bandhas, your root lock, your belly lock to come up. Anchor that back shin for stability. And then sink and surrender on the way down. Good, you got it, with repetition. Doesn't have to be fast and furious to be beneficial. In fact, sometimes the slower we go, the more awareness we build, the more strength we gain. Last one. Both hands down, back toes curl under, step the foot forward, and roll down, Uttanasana. Affirming here as you hold, nothing and no one on this earth can hold you down or back. Inhale up to the top. Relace your hands, re-shrug the shoulders towards the ears. Exhale, this time curve to your left. Inhale to the top, exhale, or to your right. Affirming strength, courage, fill up my brain and body cells. Inhale to the top, exhale, swan dive down, Uttanasana. Inhale, step your left foot back. Immediately lift your arms, come to crescent lunge. Now, okay, this is going to be yogi's choice. I'm probably going to be here today, since I'm talking you through it. But since you're not having to talk through it, if you want your back bend and crescent every time you come up, you can incorporate that in, but you don't have to. Exhale, the palms come together. We rotate to the right, revolving the other way. Yes, towards the front door. Yeah. Inhale to crescent. Your choice to go further back or not. Good. Exhale, revolving side angle. Remember the knees pushing into the arm. Inhale up. If you need to hold one or the other instead of flowing, then personalize your practice that way. Totally okay. One more. Good. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, hands down. Right foot downward facing dog. We're doing C Surya Namaskars today. We're more in the habit of doing A and B. But in the C salutation, that's what takes us to Ashtanga Pranayama, as well as to the Cobras. Take one last deep breath, slide up all the way to your sacrum. Exhale to send knees. Shift forward, chest, chin. Inhale, press up. Exhale, Ashtanga. And we're doing 5 sets of Ashtanga Pranayama. Jen's trying to build up that second chin up.
I want it.
She posted last week, she successfully got her first chin up. I was impressed because I've tried that before on the playground. It's hard. But women don't naturally carry strength in the upper body. We have to build it. Now slither through to your belly. Lengthen leg bones back, back, back. Take your hands to the sides. Flare up your neck wings of the Cobra. All right, we're gonna inhale, come towards a King Cobra. As high as your back allows. Good, and exhale, we're gonna slowly roll towards the third eye. Coming up again. The in breath lifts you. The out breath grounds you. Continue. So we're doing more of this movement instead of static pose. Influenced by the theme. Now slide your hands, stack them underneath your shoulders. Push up to all fours, exhale, downward facing dog. Now, if you really want those planks and chaturangas, then of course you can amp up your challenge. You can always personalize it to advance it or to modify it. Inhale, left foot steps through. Once that foot is really grounded, bring your arms up. Each side's different, so determine if that back bend's available or not. Exhale, hands together, rotate left. And continue that repetition. Next one. Even if you weren't doing the back bends, you have this opportunity to sink in. Exhale, palms down. Springboard the back foot forward. Exhale, roll it down. And then, where's your heartbeat now? Where's your breath control now? You know, you always hear that statement, yoga is not about touching the toes, it's what you learn on the way down. And you've even learning about yourself through this practice. Inhale up. Lace the hands together. Exhale, curve to your right. Okay, so notice, for years, I would do this pose and I would forget, oh yeah, I'm standing on my legs and my feet. I would just move from the waist up. So we're really using your lower body. Really push down, especially through your left foot. Now we're gonna flex a little bit more. Not that I always want you to do this, just today, just for fun. Push out your left hip, flex more through your right side, but we're not holding it because it can prohibit your breath. Inhale to the top. Now exhale, sway gently to your left. Root down, especially to your right foot. Swing out with your right hip, flex deeper, but bring it right back up to the top. Good, arch back. Exhale, swan back. Uttanasana. Next inhale, step your left foot back. Heel toe your right foot over to the edge. And if possible, lower to your forearms, maybe even your back knee, shin slip. Of course, if you want to do a different expression, that's okay. We're all unique individuals. So that whole nama is about adoration, it's about respect. It's also about bowing to the consciousness that flows through everything and everyone. It's not just dedicated to this deity of Shiva, it's like look within, find that aspect in yourself. We're going to be doing a crazy pose, just fair warning. We're going to have fun with it. We may not actually get into it. Some of you might be able to get into it. I can't get fully into it. Sandy, it comes from Ashtanga. Maybe you can be our mom. Let's stack onto the pants, curl it back toes under. Step it into downward facing dog. So you guys are gonna laugh. Maybe you won't laugh, but maybe you'll find it amusing. Shiva, right, has all these avatars, but his vehicle is the bull, and the bull is named Nandi. And in our first teacher training program, Jen was in it. We had Eric. Some of you know Eric. He's amazing, and he's like this calm, sweet guy. And I don't think he would mind me telling you, but when we first entered the training, he said, you know, I'm really here because I want to deepen my studies of yoga. I want to be able to share it with other people. And I want to face the issue I have with anger. And so we give spiritual names. And by the end of that training, we named him Nandi. Come down to the knees. The funny, amusing part is Nandi is considered a girl. No bull is a girl. So I don't know, myths just are myths, right? They can change things up. Inhale, create your cow, right? We're talking about the bull. Exhale, round it out, calf stretch. Then continue. At one point, he had a whole design created for a tattoo. He was going to get Nandi tattoo. But then he started reading up on the ink and what it does to your body, and I don't think he ever did it. All right, from flexing the spine, come to a neutral back. Walk your arms out in front of you, because that big pose that we're building up to, we're going to need open shoulders. And so from puppy pose, we're going to sink and drop and melt down. So the belly sinks, the heart releases. We drop into the shoulder joints. You can rest on your brow or chin, depending on what feels good for your neck, what's better for your neck. I've lost a curve in my neck, I discovered. So I'm resting on chin. On your next in breath, slide your hands back, lift your chest up. All right, we're doing 5 more steps. Ashtanga, your favorite pose today. Inhale, press up. If it's not, just pretend. And then we're going to slither through this time. We're going to create the neck wings of the King Cobra, but this time we're going to bring in a little bit of that dancing element. Not the same though. Inhale, rise to King Cobra. Exhale, it's basically a little bit of a twist. Sinking the right ear and shoulder about halfway. And then inhale, lift up. Good. And then take the left ear and shoulder halfway down. Inhale up. And then just continue. Slide it to slide. So I don't know your name, but I know that your last name is from Scandinavia area. What's your first name again? Camilla. Camilla came in and I got like really amazed at her arms. Her arms are so rough and so pretty. Someone mentioned to me the other day when I was doing something, I had my back turned, and they said, I want your back muscles. Your back muscles look so good. I'm like, really? I've never seen my back. I don't know. But isn't it funny how we tend to look at other people and want or wish for something they have? And this is why yoga and meditation is so important. It takes us in and helps us to find acceptance with our own body, with our own self. All right, inhale up. Exhale, come down. Slide your hands up underneath your shoulders. All right, push up to all fours. We're going to complete the Surya Namaskar in just a moment. So curl your toes. Launch into downward facing dog. Hug that belly in. Keep the ribs ironed in. This should be a counter pose after those part opening poses. Inhale, left foot steps through. Heel toe it to the side. All right, so you can be here, back thigh up. But most people are like ready to. And I feel you. I'm there today too. You don't have to lower to the ground. Jen brought in blocks. You can bring blocks to bring the floor to you. You might be able to go down to the sticky mat. Don't get disappointed if you can do something one day or week and then you can't the next. It's part of the process. God, I feel like we're so warmed up and barely feeling this right now. Usually this can be intense. But this is good. We need this pose to open us up. You're still feeling it? Okay, good. Good. All right, we'll inhale, bring it up. Heel toe that foot over towards the center so you can frame it with the other hand. We'll bounce that back foot forward. Roll down, Uttanasana. And then from your Uttanasana, inhale, bring it all the way up to the top. Lace your hands together. Curve to the right. Flex as much as you desire, because we're going to inhale, bring it right back up. Exhale, cross it over to the left. And again, I don't always say this, but flex as much as you desire today since we're not doing a static hold. Inhale to the top. And then exhale, release the arms. All right. So dancing Indian. And my thumb joint, I'm getting old. My thumb joint doesn't want to always operate. So if your thumb can meet your 2 middle fingers, bring them together. This is a Pada Mudra, it's for grounding. And I'm going to try to mirror you. Ground and root your right foot. And you're going to lift your left knee and kind of flare and kick that heel Now, if you're already struggling with balance, I don't want you to do anything else, just be here. If you need to take one hand to the wall and hold it, that's okay. But if you want to do the dance, the foot moves behind you, you hinge from your hips. You turn the mudra and your eyes down. And then your inhale brings you back where we started. Exhale, hinges us over. We'll do power 3. Inhale, hold, not hold the breath, hold the pose. All right.
I'm sweating like a blow bus.
What'd you say?
I'm sweating like a blow bus.
I'm sweating too. Sweat can be good at times. Not in a restorative or yin class though. Flow's okay. Flow's okay to sweat. Thumb to middle fingers. Left arm. Round and reach your left foot. Other leg up. When you feel ready, flow. One side may be more balanced than the other. Stay kind and compassionate to yourself. So I wish I brought my Shiva because he's doing both legs like this. And whether it's one or both, it means compassion in action. I just learned that a few years ago. All right, we're done with this. Now, we got another pose called Dancing Shiva. So now you know why is that pose called Dancing Shiva. Now you know about the cosmic dance, the Kandava. All right, so Dancing Shiva. You don't have to go on your sticky mat, by the way. If your sticky mat gets too like cushiony, you can step off. Actually, I'll do it this way because I want you to see something. If I were just to pick up my right foot and grab it, I can still get into the pose, but look at what that knee's doing. You see it wanting to move out towards the front door, and we want the thigh and the knee to be more here. So if you can, sometimes you may have to grab the outside, but then just kind of shimmy it over towards the inside of the foot, towards the big toe. So regardless, we're going to hold the right foot, big toe side, and keep the thighs parallel, that knee pointed downward, and shine the left arm skyward. As you exhale, hinge forward, and push the foot back into your hand. That's going to create more of the bow. You ready? Come up. Release out. Okay. It's okay if you fall out of pose. Let's see if you can fall out gracefully. You fell out very gracefully. You tiptoed. Nobody even. All right. Other side. That knee flares out. Face it back down. Set your drishti, your gaze. Find the right arm. When you're ready, hinge. Be sure to push the foot into your back hand. All right, we're building up for a big Ashtanga pose. You're going to separate your feet. This isn't it. We're just going to do a squat right now. So I wanted to get you in the squat to, again, warm up the body for what we're getting ready to do, but also for you to be aware that this pose I've typically only seen with Ashtanga yogis. And Cindy has way more experience with that style. But there's, to my knowledge, 3 primary series, primary 1, 2, and 3. Is that right? Oh, there's 6. See, she's more knowledgeable with that style. I thought there was 3, there's 6. I only know the first
I
primary
think like
series.
4, 5, and 6 are more like demonstration series.
Okay, well, there's one, and I don't know which one it shows up in, but I've seen people do it in the primary
It's in the primary
series.
series.
It's the bear of Varasana.
Oh, okay, I thought you were doing Bhuja.
No,
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see
it's
what you're doing.
there's lots of different ways to do it, evidently. I've seen people go from an arm balance and bring the foot up behind the head and transition into a flow. I've seen, don't get out of your squat yet. Yes, you can come into that version. But this pose that we sometimes do here, which I'm not really warmed up for it, but you got the idea. There's a pose where you're stacked on your hand, but this foot is behind your head. We're not doing that one. Okay, come on down.
Trying to make us feel better.
I'm trying to make you feel better. We're not doing that one. We're gonna do the supine one, okay? The first thing I want you to do is catch your left foot with your right hand, your left knee with your left hand, okay? Keep your head up, but the way we keep the head up is we crunch, we contract, and work the abdominals, the rectus abdominis muscles, right at the center of the abdomen. Okay, so work those abdominal muscles, and then slightly bend your right knee so it's not getting in the way. Then your left hand is going to scoot up underneath your left heel, and you're bringing the foot higher up towards your brow. Okay. Now you're going to crunch in a little bit more, lift a little higher, use that left arm to shoot through and to push that thigh or knee down, and you might be able to take that foot towards the head or slightly behind, or wrap it around behind your neck. I can't do it, but
You're
yeah,
close.
it's pretty close. That's the crazy pose we're building up for, because Bhairava was an avatar of Shiva. Okay. All right. Whew, that's a lot. Take a quick mini Shavasana. That way your neck can relax a moment, your stomach can soften. Each side's different, right? We have different levels of flexibility, so you may be better or worse to the right. Let's just test it. So lift your right foot, heel the backside of the head up, but by contracting those rectus abdominis muscles, your left hand is going to grab that heel, right hand to the right knee, and you're just kind of drawing it towards your face. Sometimes we'll do like a supine pigeon, right? Kind of similar. Now take that right arm towards your heel, shoot the arm maybe further up and through, and then push that knee closer towards the floor. And then kind of manhandle your leg. Don't force, right? You're gonna feel the catch. You're gonna feel where you need to stop. And I'm trusting that you're listening. And just do your best, right? We're doing our best. That's amazing, Susan. It looks great. All right. Yes, I know. Mini Shavasana. It's actually beautifully depicted in photographs if you want to look it up later. But you're gonna laugh. When I looked up the pose, I thought it was a different pose entirely. And I was like, uh-oh, we gotta fill it for that. I thought it was a twist, a sage twist. All right, when you're ready, hug the knees in. We're gonna do one last twist. Since I mentioned a twist, I always like to end with an inversion or a twist. Open your arms out shoulder height, let the knees roll to your left. I also wanted to share this with you because I didn't know this until I started researching a little bit more. I told you what Om Namah Shivaya typically represents, this adoration, this bowing to, this respect to the consciousness within. Some people dedicate it to the actual Shiva deity. But Na can represent the earth, Ma, the water, Shi, the fire, Va, air, and Ya, ether, showing that the sound holds the power of the 5 major elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Inhale, draw the knees to center. Exhale, roll them to the right. Notice your breath rate, your heart rate. You may or may not have a current of thoughts in your head, but if you do, check the rate of that as well. Inhale, draw the knees to center. Hug them in for a brevity of time, just to get a counter in. And we are ready for relaxation. So feel free to use props or a blanket, or, just so you know, there's a basket up here with towels if you want to shield and cover your eyes. If you would like one, just give me a wave and I'll bring it to you. Now you have an opportunity to allow all that we've been doing to become more integrated in your mind and body. And all you have to do is be present and to let go of any attachments to any thoughts or visions that might want to dance in your mind. Because it's when we can withdraw away from those things that we get into a deeper state of meditation, where it's almost thoughtless, yet you're still being mindful. And I want to remind you, when you start to pull back and move into the recesses of the mind, when you start to drop down into the cave of your heart, those moments where there is no thought is the beginning of creation itself. 99.9% of the universe is dark matter and energy. And it's nothing to fear, right? It's different from light and dark. We're just talking about the dark matter. That is where the potential lies for things to be birthed. So it's not that the blackness or the thoughtlessness is nothing. All the elements are still held here. Allow yourself to naturally go there, into this state of pure positive potential. hearing the sound of the bell chime. Take that as your cue, deepen the flow of your breath. Maybe to hug the knees in, to give yourself a little love. Give your back a little massage as you rock side to side. Eventually turning to one, taking a few breaths there. Up to a formal seat. Resting your palms open, your eyes closed. Hope this practice has inspired you, benefited you. Draw your hands together to prayer position at your heart. The light within me honors and bows to the beautiful light in each of you.
I haven't seen many people who can get their foot behind their head.
Yeah,